Picture this: you're standing in line at a convenience store, watching someone ahead of you buy their weekly lottery ticket. They clutch those numbers like they hold the key to their entire future. They've got their ritual down to a science, the same numbers, the same day of the week, the same hopeful expression as they hand over their hard-earned money. You can almost feel the desperation mixed with hope radiating from them. And then you see them walk to their car, probably already fantasizing about what they'll do when they win. Quit their job, buy a house, travel the world. For a brief moment, those numbers represent pure possibility, a complete escape from their current reality. Sound familiar? We've all been there in some form or another, waiting for that magical moment when luck finally finds us. Whether it's endlessly scrolling through job postings at 2 a.m., swiping through dating apps hoping for the one, or refreshing social media, waiting for that viral breakthrough. We're all guilty of it. But it goes deeper than obvious examples. We wait for our boss to notice our hard work. We hope someone will finally validate our choices. We expect the market, the economy, or technology to solve our problems for us. But here's what's fascinating about this whole dynamic. We've created an entire culture around external dependency, and most of us don't even realize we're participating in it. Listen to the conversations around you this week. If only I could catch a break. When my number comes up, maybe someday I'll get lucky. I'm just waiting for the right opportunity. We've literally programmed our language, and therefore our thinking, around the idea that good things happen to us, not through us. This shows up everywhere. We wait for permission to start that business. We wait for someone to ask us out instead of making the first move. We wait for the right time to pursue our dreams, as if there's some cosmic calendar that will suddenly declare it's our turn. We even wait for motivation to strike us like lightning, instead of creating it ourselves. And here's the psychology behind why this feels so comfortable. It's actually safer to believe that our success depends on external factors. Think about it. If your dreams require luck, then failure isn't really your fault. You just had bad luck. If success depends on other people recognizing your value, then you never have to risk putting yourself out there fully. If everything good requires perfect circumstances, then you have a built-in excuse for why things haven't worked out yet. But what if I told you that the most powerful lottery ticket you'll ever need isn't sold at any store? What if the greatest manifestation tool in existence is sitting right between your ears, waiting to be activated? What if everything you've been waiting for is actually within your control right now? Today we're diving deep into why your imagination isn't just daydreaming, it's the ultimate reality-shaping force you've been overlooking your entire life. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to harness this power and stop depending on external luck forever. Let's be honest about something that might make you uncomfortable. We live in a culture absolutely obsessed with shortcuts, quick fixes, and external salvation. The lottery is just the most obvious example, but this mentality runs so much deeper than we realize. Think about the language we use every day. When my ship comes in, if I could just catch a break. I'm waiting for my big break. Maybe someday I'll get lucky. Do you hear it? We've literally programmed ourselves to believe that our dreams depend on forces outside our control. This isn't just about gambling, though the psychology is remarkably similar. How often do you find yourself waiting for the perfect opportunity to fall into your lap, for someone else to recognize your potential, for circumstances to magically align? We scroll through social media, seeing others' highlight reels, wondering when it'll be our turn. We apply for jobs, hoping someone will finally see our worth. We wait for the market to shift, for the economy to improve, for our industry to change, for our boss to appreciate us. But here's what's really happening on a psychological level, and this is crucial to understand. This external focus creates what I call the dependency trap. When we're constantly looking outward for validation and opportunity, we become blind to the incredible power we already possess. We hand over our agency, our ability to create change, to chance, to other people, to circumstances, to anything except ourselves. And here's the kicker, we actually get addicted to this powerlessness. Why? Because it's safe. If our success depends on luck, then failure isn't really our fault. If our dreams require external validation, then we never have to face the terrifying possibility that we might actually be capable of creating them ourselves. This creates what researchers call learned helplessness, a psychological state where we stop believing in our own ability to influence outcomes, even when we absolutely have that ability. We become so conditioned to waiting for external forces that we literally forget how to be the driving force in our own lives. And the cruel irony, while we're busy buying literal and metaphorical lottery tickets, we're missing the fact that we already have access to the most sophisticated reality creation technology ever developed. And unlike external luck, this technology is available to you 24/7, responds immediately to your input, and gets more powerful the more you use it. Now, before you roll your eyes thinking this is some new age mysticism, let me ground this in hard science. Your brain is literally designed to turn imagination into reality. This isn't metaphysics, it's neuroscience, and the research is absolutely fascinating. When you visualize something vividly, your brain doesn't distinguish between what you're imagining and what you're actually experiencing. Think about that for a moment. If you close your eyes right now and imagine biting into a fresh, juicy lemon, really see it, smell it, feel the texture, your mouth will start producing saliva. Your brain is treating that imaginary lemon as if it's real. But here's where this gets really interesting. There's actually a measurable difference in brain activity between people who imagine scenarios passively versus those who visualize actively and systematically. When researchers put experienced visualizers in MRI machines and asked them to imagine performing specific tasks, their brains lit up in almost identical patterns to when they were actually performing those tasks. We're talking about the motor cortex firing as if muscles were moving, the auditory cortex responding as if sounds were being heard, the emotional centers activating as if experiences were really happening. This isn't just interesting, it's revolutionary. It means your brain is constantly being programmed by your imagination, whether you're doing it intentionally or not. And here's something that might surprise you. This technology isn't new. Ancient Greek and Roman athletes used mental rehearsal techniques over 2,000 years ago. What's new is our scientific understanding of why it works so powerfully. But let me share with you some modern examples that demonstrate just how precise this process can be. There's a famous study where researchers divided basketball players into 3 groups. One group practiced free throws physically for an hour every day. One group did no practice at all. The third group spent an hour each day visualizing perfect free throws in vivid detail, the weight of the ball, the arc of the shot, the sound of the net, the feeling of success. After 30 days, the group that practiced physically improved their free throw percentage by 24%. The group that did no practice showed no improvement. But here's the kicker. The group that only visualized improved by 23%, almost identical to the physical practice group. They literally rewired their brains and improved their physical performance without ever touching a basketball. Professional athletes have known this secret for decades, and they've turned it into a competitive advantage. Michael Jordan didn't just practice his shots on the court. He spent hours mentally rehearsing every detail of his performance. He'd visualize the crowd, the pressure, the specific movements, the ball leaving his hands, the perfect swish of the net. By game time, his brain had already experienced success hundreds of times. Olympic swimmers like Michael Phelps visualize every stroke, every turn, every breath before they ever touch the water. Tennis players like Serena Williams mentally rehearse their serves until they can feel the racket in their hands and hear the ball hitting the sweet spot. These aren't feel-good exercises. They're performance-enhancing techniques backed by decades of sports psychology research. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this is where most people miss the connection to their everyday lives. There's something called the reticular activating system, your brain's filtering mechanism. Right now, as you're watching this video, there are literally millions of pieces of information competing for your attention. Sounds in your environment, visual stimuli, physical sensations, thoughts, memories, but you only consciously process a tiny fraction of them. Your RAS is like a bouncer at an exclusive club, deciding what gets through to your conscious awareness based on what you've programmed it to notice. And here's the incredible part, you can consciously reprogram this system. Ever notice how when you're thinking about buying a particular car, you suddenly see it everywhere? That's your RAS at work. It's not that there are more of those cars on the road, you've just trained your brain to notice them. Or maybe you learn a new word, and then you hear it 3 times in the next week. Same principle. This same system that filters your perception of cars, words and coincidences can be trained to filter for opportunities, solutions, connections and resources that align with your goals. When you consistently visualize a specific outcome, your RAS starts scanning your environment for anything that might help you achieve it. But here's what makes this even more powerful. Your RAS doesn't just help you notice things, it influences your behavior. When your brain is primed to look for opportunities in a specific area, you unconsciously start making choices that move you in that direction. You speak up in meetings when relevant topics come up. You attend events where you might meet the right people. You take courses that develop relevant skills. You don't even realize you're doing it. Your subconscious is guiding you toward your visualized reality. So how do we move beyond passive daydreaming into active manifestation? This is where most people get it wrong. They think visualization means staring at a vision board for a few minutes and hoping for the best, or they do some vague positive thinking without any real structure or intention. But real manifestation is far more sophisticated and systematic. First, we need to understand that effective visualization isn't just seeing, it's experiencing. Most people visualize like they're watching a movie of their life, but that's not how your brain learns best. Your brain learns through immersion, through full sensory experience. When you imagine your ideal future, you need to engage all your senses, not just your visual cortex. What does success feel like in your body? Is there a sense of lightness, confidence, energy? What sounds surround your achievement? Are there conversations, music, the hum of activity? What about smells and tastes? Maybe it's the smell of fresh coffee in your new office, or the taste of champagne at your celebration dinner. Here's a practical exercise that will change everything. Instead of just seeing yourself in your dream job, imagine the weight of the door handle as you walk into your office. Feel the texture of the business cards in your pocket. Hear the specific conversations you'll have with colleagues, not just generic good job comments, but actual detailed dialogue. Notice the temperature of the room, the quality of light coming through the windows, the sound your shoes make on the floor. The more sensory details you include, the more real it becomes to your brain. And when something feels real to your brain, your behavior automatically starts aligning with that reality. But it goes deeper than just sensory imagination. You need emotional resonance. Your brain is wired to remember and pursue things that carry strong emotional significance. Emotions are like rocket fuel for manifestation. When you visualize, don't just see the outcome, feel the pride swelling in your chest, the gratitude filling your heart, the excitement coursing through your veins, the deep sense of accomplishment and fulfillment. Let me give you a specific technique I call future memory creation. Instead of visualizing something you want to happen, visualize it as if it's already happened and you're looking back on it with gratitude. Imagine yourself 6 months from now, having already achieved your goal, and you're telling a friend about how amazing it feels. What would you say? How would your body language change? What details would you share? And here's the key most people miss. Specificity matters more than you think. Instead of imagining being successful, imagine the specific conversation where you negotiate your ideal salary. What words do you use? How do you sit? What does your voice sound like? Instead of visualizing finding love, imagine the specific moment when you realize you've met your person. Where are you? What are you wearing? What makes you realize this is the one? The more detailed and specific your imagination, the clearer the roadmap becomes for your subconscious mind. Vague goals create vague results. Specific, detailed visions create specific, actionable pathways. Here's another advanced technique: timeline visualization. Don't just imagine the end result. Imagine the entire journey. See yourself taking the steps, overcoming the challenges, celebrating the small wins along the way. This prepares your mind for the actual process of achieving your goal, not just the final outcome. When challenges arise in real life, your brain already has a framework for dealing with them because you've mentally rehearsed the journey. Here's another advanced technique that most people never learn: obstacle visualization. This sounds counterintuitive, but it's incredibly powerful. Instead of only visualizing success, you also visualize potential challenges and see yourself overcoming them gracefully. For example, if you're visualizing a job interview, don't just imagine it going perfectly. Also imagine a difficult question being asked, and see yourself pausing confidently, gathering your thoughts, and giving a thoughtful response. Visualize technical difficulties, and see yourself handling them with humor and flexibility. This prepares your nervous system for real-world variables, instead of creating unrealistic expectations. There's also something I call identity visualization. Instead of just seeing yourself achieving goals, visualize yourself becoming the type of person who naturally achieves those goals. What does that person think about when they wake up? How do they carry themselves? What decisions do they make differently? How do they spend their free time? What books do they read? What conversations do they have? This is more powerful than goal visualization because it creates systemic change in your behavior patterns, not just pursuit of specific outcomes. And here's a technique that combines visualization with real-world training: progressive immersion. Start by visualizing for 10 minutes, then immediately take one small real-world action toward your goal. The next day, visualize for 12 minutes, then take a slightly bigger action. Keep escalating both the mental rehearsal and the physical practice. This creates a powerful feedback loop between imagination and reality that accelerates your progress exponentially. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the part that nobody wants to talk about, but absolutely determines your success. Why doesn't this work for everyone? Why do some people visualize intensely, follow all the techniques, but still struggle to see results? The answer lies in what I call the inner saboteur, those deep-seated limiting beliefs that operate like background programs on your computer, quietly undermining everything you're trying to create. These aren't just thoughts. They're entire operating systems that have been running your life, often since childhood. You might be visualizing abundance while simultaneously believing deep down that you don't deserve it. You might be imagining career success while carrying childhood messages that you're not smart enough, that success is for other people, or that money is somehow evil or corrupting. You might be visualizing your ideal relationship while secretly believing you're unlovable, or that good things don't happen to people like you. These limiting beliefs are insidious because they don't always show up as obvious thoughts. Sometimes they manifest as a feeling in your stomach when you visualize success, a subtle sense of "this isn't for me." Sometimes they show up as chronic procrastination, self-sabotage, or finding excuses to avoid taking action toward your goals. Here's how to spot them, and this is a technique that can change your life. Pay attention to the voice that speaks up immediately after you visualize something you want. Really listen. After you imagine your dream scenario, what's the first thing your mind says? Does it go, "Yeah, right. That's impossible for someone like you. You don't have the right connections. That only happens to other people. Who do you think you are?" Those are your limiting beliefs talking, and they need to be addressed directly and systematically. Here's a powerful technique for dealing with them. Write down every limiting belief that comes up during or after visualization. Get them all out of your head and onto paper. Then, for each belief, ask yourself 3 questions. Where did this belief come from? Whose voice does this sound like? What would I achieve if I didn't believe this? But here's where it gets really deep, and this is something most people never address. Your limiting beliefs often have emotional roots that go back to childhood experiences. Maybe you watched your parents struggle financially and absorbed the belief that money is hard to come by. Maybe you were criticized for being too ambitious and internalized that success makes you unlikable. Maybe you were told you were too sensitive and learned to hide your authentic self. These emotional imprints create what psychologists call core limiting beliefs, deep-seated convictions about yourself and the world that feel absolutely true, even when they're objectively false or outdated. And these beliefs will sabotage your manifestation efforts every single time unless you address them at the emotional level, not just the intellectual level. Here's a powerful technique for this. When you identify a limiting belief, don't just try to think your way out of it. Close your eyes and ask yourself, when was the first time I remember feeling this way? Let whatever memory comes up be okay. Then visualize your current adult self going back to comfort that younger version of you. What would you tell them? What do they need to hear? What truth do they need to understand? This isn't just psychological fluff. This is rewiring the emotional associations that drive your unconscious behavior. There's also what I call the proof collection method. Instead of trying to eliminate limiting beliefs through willpower, start collecting evidence that contradicts them. Keep a daily journal of every small success, every compliment, every moment when things go your way. When your limiting beliefs say nothing ever works out for me, you'll have pages of evidence to the contrary. And here's something powerful. Share your limiting beliefs with trusted friends and ask them to point out when they see evidence that contradicts those beliefs. Sometimes we're blind to our own progress and need outside observers to help us see the truth. But here's where many manifestation teachings go dangerously wrong. They stop at the visualization and belief work. They treat imagination like a magic wand, as if the mere act of visualizing will cause reality to bend to your will without any effort on your part. That's not how it works. And teaching people that it does actually sets them up for failure and disillusionment. Imagination is a compass, not a magic wand. It points you in the direction of aligned action. When you visualize consistently and specifically, opportunities don't magically appear out of thin air. You start noticing them because your RAS is primed to look for them. Solutions don't fall from the sky. You start recognizing them when they present themselves. The right people don't randomly show up. You start attracting them through your energy, your actions, and the decisions you make. The key is what I call congruent action. Actions that align with the reality you're visualizing. Every single day, you need to take steps, however small, that move you toward the future you're imagining. If you're visualizing career success, are you actively developing skills, networking strategically, and putting yourself in positions to be seen by the right people? If you're visualizing a loving relationship, are you working on becoming the kind of partner you'd want to attract? Are you putting yourself in situations where you could meet someone? This is where the rubber meets the road, and it's where most people fail. They do the visualization, they work on their beliefs, but then they sit back and wait for results to appear. They don't understand that manifestation is a co-creative process between your imagination and your actions. And here's the part that requires real courage and commitment, staying consistent when you don't see immediate results. Our culture has conditioned us to expect instant gratification. We want to see changes within days or weeks of starting a visualization practice. But real manifestation often works on a different timeline. Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs happen just when you're about to give up. Sometimes what looks like failure is actually redirection towards something better. Sometimes the universe is testing your commitment before delivering what you've asked for. The key is to trust the process and maintain consistent daily practice, even when progress feels invisible. And I want to share something else that happened during that period, because this illustrates a crucial point about how manifestation actually works in the real world. During those months of no progress, I started noticing that I was making different choices without consciously realizing it. I was speaking up more in meetings. I was having different types of conversations with people. I was reading different books, attending different events, even dressing slightly differently. My visualization practice was reprogramming my subconscious behavior patterns, and when the opportunities finally appeared, I was ready in ways I wouldn't have been before. The manifestation wasn't just about attracting external opportunities. It was about becoming the kind of person who could recognize and capitalize on those opportunities when they appeared. This is what I call the invisible foundation period. The time when it looks like nothing is happening externally, but everything is shifting internally. Your confidence is building, your skills are developing, Your network is expanding. Your intuition is sharpening. You're becoming magnetically aligned with your goals in ways you can't even see yet. But here's what's crucial to understand. This process requires what I call faithful consistency, continuing to take aligned action even when you can't see immediate results. Most people give up during the invisible foundation period because they expect linear progress, but manifestation often works more like compound interest, slow at first, then exponential. Think of it like planting a tree. You water it every day, but for months you might not see dramatic growth. But underground, an entire root system is developing that will eventually support massive growth above ground. Your daily visualization and aligned action are building that invisible root system. So let's bring this full circle and really drive home what we've discovered today. We started by talking about that person buying lottery tickets, hoping for external luck to change their life. But now you understand the profound truth. You've been carrying the ultimate lottery ticket with you all along, and unlike every other lottery in existence, this one has a 100% success rate when used correctly. Your imagination isn't just a nice-to-have creative faculty that you use for daydreaming or entertainment. It's the most sophisticated reality-shaping tool ever developed. It's not about mystical manifestation or wishful thinking. It's about understanding how your brain works and leveraging its natural mechanisms to create the life you actually want. Think about what we've covered today. Your brain literally cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. Professional athletes have been using this fact to gain competitive advantages for decades. Your reticular activating system can be programmed to filter reality for opportunities, solutions, and connections that align with your goals. And when combined with congruent action and the dismantling of limiting beliefs, this creates an unstoppable force for positive change. But here's what makes this even more powerful than any external lottery. This system gets stronger the more you use it. Traditional lottery tickets are random chance. Your odds don't improve with experience, but your imagination-based manifestation abilities actually compound over time. The more you practice detailed visualization, the better you get at it. The more you identify and overcome limiting beliefs, the fewer obstacles remain in your path. The more aligned actions you take, the more opportunities present themselves. This represents a profound shift in how you approach your entire life, from hope to empowered creation. Instead of waiting for luck to find you, you're actively programming your brain to recognize and create the opportunities that align with your vision. Instead of being at the mercy of external circumstances, you're taking conscious control of the most powerful force in your life, your ability to imagine and then create your future. Let me paint you a picture of what this looks like in practice. Instead of scrolling through job listings hoping something good will appear, you're visualizing your ideal work environment so specifically that you recognize the right opportunity when it presents itself, and you've prepared yourself to seize it. Instead of waiting for someone to discover your talents, you're imagining success so vividly that you naturally start taking the actions that make you visible to the right people. Instead of hoping for a relationship to fall into your lap, you're visualizing the kind of partnership you want so clearly that you become the kind of person who naturally attracts that level of connection. This isn't about positive thinking or hoping for the best. This is about understanding that your imagination is the blueprint for your reality and learning to be intentional about what you're building. But here's something I want to address directly, because I know some of you are thinking this sounds too good to be true. If this really works, why isn't everyone doing it? Why do so many people still struggle? The answer is simple. Because it requires something that most people aren't willing to give: consistent daily practice, emotional courage to face limiting beliefs, and the discipline to take aligned action, even when you don't feel like it. It's easier to buy a lottery ticket and hope for the best than to take full responsibility for creating your own luck. Most people would rather complain about their circumstances than change their thinking patterns. They'd rather blame external factors than examine their own limiting beliefs. They'd rather wait for opportunities than create them. And that's exactly why this approach is so powerful for those who are willing to embrace it. There's no competition. Think about it. While everyone else is waiting for their ship to come in, you're building the harbor. While others are hoping for their big break, you're systematically creating the conditions for multiple breaks to appear. While others are buying lottery tickets, you're developing lottery-winning skills. And here's something that will completely change how you think about luck. People who are consistently lucky aren't actually experiencing more random good fortune than everyone else. They're just better at recognizing and acting on opportunities that others miss. They've trained their brains to notice possibilities where others see obstacles. They've developed the confidence to say yes to opportunities that feel slightly outside their comfort zone. They've built the skills and prepared themselves so thoroughly that when opportunities appear, they're ready to capitalize on them immediately. This is why the most successful people often say they got lucky, but when you examine their stories closely, you realize they created the conditions for that luck to find them. They were visualizing opportunities, preparing for success, and taking consistent action toward their goals long before the lucky break appeared. Your imagination is literally a luck-generating machine. Every time you visualize a positive outcome, you're programming your brain to notice and create the conditions that make that outcome more likely. You're developing the confidence, skills, and mindset that turn possibilities into realities. But here's what makes this approach infinitely more powerful than traditional luck. It's sustainable and repeatable. A lottery win is a one-time event that might actually create more problems than it solves if you're not prepared for it. But when you develop your imagination as a manifestation tool, you're building a skill set that you can use for the rest of your life to create whatever you want. You become someone who doesn't just achieve one goal. You become someone who consistently creates positive outcomes across every area of your life. Career success leads to relationship confidence. Financial abundance creates space for creative expression. Personal growth enhances professional opportunities. Everything starts connecting and amplifying everything else. And here's the most powerful part. This isn't just about achieving specific goals. This is about becoming the kind of person who consistently creates positive outcomes. It's about developing an unshakable confidence in your ability to navigate whatever life throws at you. It's about knowing that no matter what happens, you have the tools to create a meaningful, fulfilling life. Your imagination is the only lottery ticket you'll ever need, because it's not really a lottery at all. It's a guarantee. When you combine vivid, specific visualization with belief work and consistent action, success becomes inevitable. The only question is timing and exactly what form that success will take. But here's the thing, and this is crucial. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. You can watch this video, nod along, maybe even share it with friends and family, but if you don't start implementing these principles today, right now, nothing changes. Your life stays exactly the same, and you remain dependent on external forces for your happiness and success. So here's your call to action, and I want you to treat this like the life-changing moment it could be. Tonight, before you go to sleep, spend at least 15 minutes in detailed visualization. Not vague daydreaming, detailed, specific, multi-sensory visualization that feels like a memory of something that already happened. But here's what I want you to do differently. Instead of just visualizing one goal, I want you to visualize the version of yourself who naturally achieves goals like that. See yourself waking up tomorrow as that person. How do they think differently? What's their morning routine? How do they handle challenges? What decisions do they make differently throughout the day? Then, here's the crucial part. Tomorrow, spend the entire day acting as if you're already that person. Don't wait until you achieve the goal to become the person who achieves goals like that. Become that person now, and let the goal be a natural result of who you're being. Write down any limiting beliefs that come up during this process. Notice the voice that says this is silly, or this won't work for me, or I'm not the type of person who does things like this. Thank that voice for trying to protect you, but don't let it run your life anymore. And here's something I want you to do that will accelerate your progress exponentially. Find one person in your life who you can share this journey with. Not someone who will judge you or try to talk you out of it, but someone who will support your growth and help you stay accountable. Text them tomorrow and tell them what you visualized and what action you took. Having a witness to your commitment dramatically increases your follow-through rate. Also, start a manifestation journal. Every day, write down 3 things: what you visualized, what action you took, and what evidence you noticed that you're moving in the right direction. This creates a record of your progress that you can look back on during challenging times. Your imagination isn't separate from reality. It's the blueprint for reality. It's the architect of your future. It's the most powerful tool you have for creating the life you want. The question isn't whether manifestation works. The question is, are you ready to stop buying external lottery tickets and start using the ultimate manifestation technology you were born with? The power to create your ideal life isn't coming from somewhere else. It's not in the next opportunity, the next relationship, or the next stroke of luck. It's already inside you right now, waiting to be activated. It's been there your entire life, but maybe nobody ever told you how to use it properly. Well, now you know. Your imagination is the only lottery ticket you'll ever need. The question is, are you ready to cash it in? I'm genuinely curious. What version of yourself are you going to step into tonight? What reality are you ready to create? Drop a comment below and describe the person you're visualizing yourself becoming. I read every single comment, and I love celebrating these transformation journeys with you. If this video has shifted something fundamental in how you think about luck, success, and your own power, smash that like button to help more people discover this life-changing information. Subscribe and ring that notification bell, because I'm constantly sharing new techniques and insights that build on everything we talked about today. Your future self will thank you for taking action right now, instead of waiting for the perfect time. And here's a final challenge. Share this video with someone who's been waiting for their big break. Tag them and say, "Stop buying lottery tickets and start using this instead." Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is plant a seed in someone else's mind that their power has been inside them all along. Remember, your imagination isn't separate from reality. It's the architect of reality. Every successful person, every breakthrough innovation, every positive change in history started as someone's visualization. You have the same technology in your brain that every successful person has ever used. The only difference is whether you choose to activate it intentionally or let it run on autopilot. Your imagination is the only lottery ticket you'll ever need. The question isn't whether you'll use it. You're already using it every day. The question is whether you'll use it consciously to create what you want, or unconsciously to recreate what you've always had. What are you going to choose? This is Best of Lectures YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.
Welcome to the beginning of your transformation. As you listen these words, something powerful is already happening within you. A shift in perception that will change everything. I want to ask you something important. Who would you be if wealth was already yours? How would you walk through the world? How would you speak to others and to yourself? What thoughts would fill your mind as you opened your eyes each morning, knowing that abundance flows to you effortlessly? I remember asking myself these questions years ago while sitting at my kitchen table. Bills spread out before me, that familiar knot of anxiety tightening in my stomach. The gap between where I was and where I wanted to be seemed impossibly wide. Perhaps you've felt that too, that disconnect between your financial reality and your deepest desires. But that day, something shifted. I realized I'd been approaching everything backward. I was waiting for my circumstances to change before I would change how I felt, how I thought, and how I moved through the world. That realization transformed everything for me, and it can do the same for you. I'm not asking you to pretend. I'm asking you to recognize a profound truth that changed my life. Wealth begins within. Here's what I discovered on my own journey. The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you who you are. Most people live their entire lives waiting for external circumstances to determine their internal state. They say, when I have more money, then I'll feel secure. When I achieve success, then I'll feel confident. When my problems disappear, then I'll feel peace. But that's not how life works. You don't need to wait for your bank account to change before you change how you feel about money. The secret, the real, life-changing secret, is this. You must believe before you see. The evidence appears only after you've accepted abundance as your reality. I spent years waiting for proof before I would believe. I checked my accounts obsessively, hoping to see growth that would justify feeling good about my financial situation. Each time the numbers didn't meet my expectations, I'd spiral into worry and doubt, unconsciously reinforcing my connection to lack. Then I encountered a principle that flipped everything on its head. Your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state. Think about that. Everything you see, touch, and experience began first as a thought, a feeling, an assumption in your mind. Your current financial situation isn't random, it's the physical manifestation of your dominant beliefs about money, success, and your worthiness to receive. The moment I flipped that script and began living as if I already had everything I needed, feeling the emotions of wealth, thinking the thoughts of abundance, carrying myself with the confidence of someone financially free, my entire reality began to shift. Opportunities emerged that I couldn't have planned. Resources appeared from unexpected sources. Doors opened that I didn't even know existed. Not because I was lucky, not because I was special, but because I changed from the inside out. You need to step into your wealthy self right now. And here's how. Look at how wealthy people move through life. They don't question whether opportunity will find them. They expect it. They don't worry about resources. They know resources will come. They carry an unshakable confidence, not because they have money, but because they embody wealth as a state of being. I used to watch successful people and think their confidence came from their achievements. Now I understand their achievements came from their confidence rooted in how they saw themselves, not in their circumstances. This isn't about arrogance. It's about alignment. When you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with abundance rather than scarcity, you become a different person. And when you become different, your life becomes different too. I remember attending a business conference years ago before my financial breakthrough. I felt out of place, intimidated by people who seemed so much more successful than me. I hunched my shoulders, spoke timidly, and constantly apologized for taking up space. A mentor pulled me aside and said something I'll never forget. You're acting like someone who doesn't belong here. But wealth isn't about what's in your wallet, it's about what's in your mind. Stand tall, speak clearly. You belong in any room you enter. That day, I made a conscious decision to step into my wealthy self, not the self I thought I needed to become someday, but the wealthy self that was already within me, waiting to be expressed. So I'm asking you to do something radical. Assume the state of wealth right now, not tomorrow, not when circumstances change. Now, begin moving through your day as if abundance is your natural state. Make decisions from a place of sufficiency rather than lack. Treat yourself with the care and respect that a wealthy person would. Invest in your growth as someone who expects return. This shift may feel uncomfortable at first. Your logical mind will argue, pointing to your current circumstances as evidence that you're pretending. But remember, circumstances don't create your state. Your state creates your circumstance. So what exactly is wealth? Is it a number in your bank account? Is it properties and possessions? Is it the freedom to do what you want when you want? I've come to understand that real wealth is a psychology before it's a reality. It's a way of perceiving yourself and the world around you. The wealthy mind sees possibilities where others see problems. It sees resources where others see restrictions. It sees abundance where others see scarcity. I used to have what I now call broke thinking. I would walk into a store and immediately look at price tags, calculating what I couldn't afford. I would see opportunities and focus on all the reasons they wouldn't work out for me. I would dwell on past financial mistakes, letting them define my identity and limit my future. This psychology of lack kept me trapped in a reality that matched it perfectly. Transforming my psychology of wealth meant, instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" I began asking, "How can I afford this?" Instead of seeing myself as someone who struggled with money, I began seeing myself as someone who was learning to master money. Instead of focusing on what was going wrong financially, I directed my attention to what was going right. Instead of comparing myself to those who had more, I practiced gratitude for the abundance already present in my life. This psychological shift didn't happen overnight. It required consistent awareness, catching myself when I slipped into old patterns of thought. It meant surrounding myself with books, podcasts, and people who reinforced a wealthy mindset. It meant practicing new thought patterns until they became natural. But with time and persistence, my psychology transformed, and as it did, my external reality had no choice but to follow. There's a world of difference between wishing for wealth and knowing it's already yours. Wishing keeps you stuck in wanting. It's like standing outside a door, knocking and hoping someone lets you in. But when you live from the end, when you mentally and emotionally step into the reality where your desire is fulfilled, you're no longer outside looking in. You're already home. I remember clearly the day this clicked for me. I was facing bills I wasn't sure how to pay, yet I made a decision. I am financially free. This is temporary, but my wealth is permanent. I stopped seeing myself as someone struggling to become wealthy and started seeing myself as someone wealthy navigating a temporary situation. That subtle shift changed everything, not because it magically deposited money in my account, but because it changed how I responded to opportunities, how I spoke about money, and how I carried myself in the world. When a new business prospect came my way, I didn't approach it from desperation. I approached it with the calm assurance of someone who was already successful, who could take it or leave it. This energy was magnetic, drawing more opportunities my way. When unexpected expenses arose, I didn't panic, as I once would have. I met them with the certainty that resources would come, and they always did, often in ways I couldn't have anticipated. Living from the end means making decisions based on where you're going, not where you've been. Speaking about your finances as you want them to be, not as they currently appear. Feeling the emotions of financial freedom before the external evidence arrives. Taking actions aligned with the wealthy version of yourself, not the struggling version. This isn't about denial or delusion. It's about understanding that your current circumstances are the result of past thinking, and your future circumstances will be determined by how you choose to think and feel right now. So how do feelings become things? Your emotions aren't just reactions, they're creative forces. When you consistently feel wealthy, grateful, and secure, you vibrate at a frequency that attracts matching experiences. I used to dismiss this idea as too mystical, too intangible, but then I began to observe how my emotional states were directly connected to my experiences. When I felt anxious about money, I'd make impulsive decisions that led to more financial stress. When I felt resentful about bills, more unexpected expenses would appear. When I felt unworthy of wealth, opportunities would come, but I'd find ways to sabotage them. Most people have it backward. They wait to feel abundant until they see abundance. They wait to feel confident until they achieve success. But that's not how this works. The universe responds not to what you want, but to what you are, and what you are is determined largely by how you feel on a consistent basis. You must generate the feeling first. Wake up and consciously choose to feel financially secure before checking your accounts. Walk into meetings feeling valuable before anyone acknowledges your worth. Make decisions from a place of abundance even when facing temporary limitations. One of the biggest blocks I faced on my journey was obsessing over how my financial breakthrough would come. I wanted a roadmap, a guarantee, a step-by-step plan. I'd lie awake at night trying to calculate exactly how much I needed to earn, which opportunities to pursue, what investments might pay off fastest. My mind spun with endless scenarios and possibilities, each one leaving me more anxious than the last. But here's what I learned. Your job isn't to figure out how, your job is to hold the vision and trust the process. Think about a farmer planting seeds. He doesn't dig them up every day to check their progress. He doesn't stand over them demanding they grow faster. He plants with confidence, nurtures consistently, and trusts the harvest will come. The how isn't your responsibility. The universe has infinite channels through which abundance can flow to you, many more creative and wonderful than you could possibly imagine. Your task is simply to keep your vision clear and your vibration high. I remember the turning point came when I finally surrendered my need to control. I had been pursuing a particular business opportunity that I was convinced was my path to wealth. When it fell through, I was devastated, until a seemingly random conversation 3 days later led to an even better opportunity that I couldn't have planned if I tried. That experience taught me something invaluable. The path to your desires rarely unfolds the way you think it will. When you try to micromanage the process, you actually limit the ways abundance can reach you. Instead, focus on clarity about what you want, not the specific path to get there. Release your attachment to timelines and let things unfold in divine timing. Stay open to unexpected opportunities, even if they don't match your original plan. Trust that if a particular door closes, it's because a better one is about to open. When you release your grip on the how, you allow the universe to surprise you with its creativity and generosity. You also need to learn to speak the language of wealth. Your words shape your reality. Every time you say, "I can't afford that," or "money is so hard to come by," you're writing that story into existence. I had to completely transform my vocabulary around money. Instead of saying, I can't afford it, I began saying, I'm choosing to invest my money elsewhere right now. Instead of complaining about bills, I practiced gratitude for the services they represented. A wealthy person doesn't speak the language of lack. They don't constantly talk about what they can't do or can't have. They speak with assurance, make decisions with clarity, and approach life with the certainty that they'll always have what they need. I made a conscious effort to eliminate phrases like, I'm broke, I can't afford that, money doesn't grow on trees, I'll never get out of debt, rich people are just lucky, and replace them with, I'm making strategic financial choices. That's not a priority for me right now. Money flows to me through multiple channels. I'm becoming more financially free every day. Wealth is available to anyone who aligns with it. At first, these new phrases felt foreign, even false. But I persisted, knowing that my words weren't just describing my reality. They were creating it. Within weeks, I noticed subtle shifts. I felt more empowered around money decisions. I stopped feeling victimized by my financial situation. I began to see opportunities where before I had only seen obstacles. Your words aren't just describing your reality, they're creating it. Choose them wisely. Also, carry yourself with confidence. How do you walk into a room? How do you look at a price tag? How do you make decisions? A wealthy person moves with quiet confidence, not arrogance, confidence. They know their value. They trust their judgment. They approach opportunities with excitement rather than fear. I remember consciously changing how I carried myself, standing taller, making decisions more decisively, treating myself with the care and respect I'd give to someone I deeply valued. These weren't just physical changes, they were expressions of a fundamental shift in how I saw myself. Your physiology affects your psychology. When you carry yourself like the wealthy person you already are inside, you strengthen that identity and make it more real. I began a practice of wealth embodiment that dramatically accelerated my transformation. I paid attention to my posture, standing tall with my shoulders back. I made eye contact and spoke clearly, without undermining myself. I dressed in a way that made me feel successful, even when no one was watching. I made decisions promptly rather than hesitating from fear. I treated myself to small luxuries that reinforced my worth. One particularly powerful practice was walking into high-end stores or luxury hotels, places I once felt I didn't belong, and simply allowing myself to be there comfortably, without apology or explanation. At first, it felt like acting, but with consistency, it became natural. The more I embodied wealth physically, the more my mindset shifted to match. This isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about aligning your physical expression with the wealthy self that already exists within you. One often overlooked aspect of wealth creation is the influence of your social circle. The people you spend time with shape your beliefs, expectations, and behaviors around money more than you might realize. I had to make some difficult but necessary changes in who I allowed to influence my financial mindset. Some friends consistently spoke about money with fear and limitation. Some family members reinforced the belief that wealth was for other people, not us. Some colleagues normalized financial struggle as just the way things are. Surrounding yourself with wealth consciousness means seeking mentors who have achieved the financial freedom you desire, reading books by those who understand the principles of abundance, joining communities where prosperity thinking is the norm, limiting exposure to chronic complainers and scarcity thinkers, finding friends who support your vision rather than questioning it. This doesn't mean abandoning everyone who isn't wealthy. It means being intentional about whose financial opinions you internalize and whose money mindset you allow to influence yours. When I began spending time with entrepreneurs who talked about money confidently, who saw opportunities everywhere, who expected success rather than bracing for failure, my own thinking began to shift by osmosis. Your wealth consciousness is either being elevated or diminished by the company you keep. Choose wisely. Persistence is key, so you must persist until it manifests. This might be the most important part of your journey. There will be days when your old doubts creep back in. There will be moments when circumstances seem to contradict your vision. There will be people who question your confidence when they can't see what you see. These are tests not of whether your desire is possible, but of whether you'll remain faithful to your vision when appearances suggest otherwise. I've faced those moments. I've had days when I wondered if I was fooling myself. I've had financial setbacks that tempted me to abandon my belief in abundance. I've had well-meaning friends suggest I was being unrealistic, but I made a decision to stand firm, to keep embodying wealth regardless of what my circumstances were showing me. I remember one particularly challenging period when several expected payments didn't come through, and I was facing some significant expenses. The old me would have panicked, seen it as confirmation that financial stability was always beyond my reach. Instead, I doubled down on my wealth practices. I increased my visualization time. I became even more vigilant about my self-talk. I acted with even more confidence and certainty. I refused to let temporary circumstances dictate my permanent identity. Within weeks, not only did the delayed payments arrive, but new opportunities came that more than compensated for the temporary shortfall. And here's what I discovered. When you refuse to waver in your assumption, when you persist in the feeling of already having what you desire, reality has no choice but to reshape itself around your conviction. Persistence means maintaining your wealth consciousness even when your bank account temporarily disagrees, continuing to speak, think, and act wealthy even when no one else sees your vision, treating financial setbacks as temporary detours, not permanent destinations, staying faithful to your assumption until it hardens into physical fact. The universe doesn't reward wishful thinking or sporadic effort. It responds to unwavering conviction maintained long enough to become your dominant vibration. Remember this. What you see around you today is the result of past thinking. It has no power to determine your future unless you give it that power. Your turning point comes the moment you decide that your inner vision is more real than your outer circumstances. And you live from that place without apology or doubt. For me, that turning point wasn't dramatic. It wasn't marked by sudden wealth or overnight success. It was simply the quiet but firm decision that I would no longer be defined by my financial past or present circumstances. I decided that my true identity was abundant, prosperous, and wealthy, and I would live from that truth regardless of temporary appearances. From that day forward, I stopped seeking evidence before believing. I stopped allowing bank statements to determine my worth. I stopped waiting for permission to feel the way a wealthy person feels. Instead, I claimed my prosperity consciousness as my birthright. I owned it fully, lived it consistently, and trusted the manifestation process completely. I'm not asking you to ignore practical actions. Take those steps. Work diligently. Seize opportunity, but do it all from the consciousness of one who already has what they desire, not as someone desperately trying to get something they lack. The practical actions you take from a state of abundance have a completely different energy and therefore different results than the same actions taken from a state of lack. Practice gratitude for what is and what's coming. Gratitude is the highest frequency you can emit. It's impossible to feel truly grateful and fearful at the same time. When you practice genuine gratitude, you automatically shift into an abundance mindset. I developed a two-part gratitude practice that accelerated my financial transformation. First, I practiced radical gratitude for my current reality, even the parts that seemed challenging. I gave thanks for the bills because they represented services that enhanced my life. I appreciated the job I wanted to leave because it was funding my transition. I found gratitude for past financial mistakes because they taught me valuable lessons. Second, I practiced gratitude for what was on its way to me. I would close my eyes and feel deeply thankful for the wealth that was already mine in consciousness, already making its way into my physical experience. This dual approach to gratitude kept me rooted in abundance rather than lack. It helped me see that I was already wealthy in countless ways and that even greater prosperity was unfolding for me. Try this practice. Each morning, list 5 aspects of your current financial situation you can genuinely appreciate. Each evening, express gratitude for 5 aspects of the wealth that's currently manifesting for you. This simple discipline trains your mind to recognize abundance rather than scarcity, accelerating your financial transformation. While your mental and emotional alignment is the foundation of wealth creation, it must be paired with inspired action for full manifestation. The key word here is inspired. There's a world of difference between forced action fueled by fear and inspired action flowing from alignment. When you're aligned with wealth consciousness, you'll feel naturally drawn to certain opportunities, ideas, or pathways. These nudges from your intuition are your internal guidance system pointing you toward your prosperity. I used to exhaust myself with endless hustle, trying to force money to come through sheer effort. Now I understand that aligned action feels different. It feels exciting rather than draining. It feels natural rather than forced. And most importantly, it yields results far beyond the effort invested. Pay attention to the ideas that come when you're in a state of abundance. Notice the opportunities that excite you. Follow the breadcrumbs of inspiration, taking one aligned step at a time. Remember that inspired action isn't always big or dramatic. Sometimes it's as simple as making that phone call you've been putting off, organizing your finances, or investing in yourself in some meaningful way. What matters isn't the size of the action, but the consciousness behind it. Are you acting from fear and lack, or from confidence and abundance? The external action might look identical, but the energy behind it, and therefore the results it produces, will be worlds apart. Your wealth is waiting. Everything you seek, the financial freedom, the peace of mind, the ability to live generously and joyfully, it's already within you. It exists right now as a potential reality, waiting for you to step into it. Your imagination isn't fantasy, it's the preview of coming attractions. When you use it deliberately to feel the reality you desire, you align with that reality and draw it into your experience. I know this path isn't always easy. There will be moments when your logical mind argues with your vision. There will be days when your outer circumstances seem to contradict what you're creating internally. But I also know this. If you persist in your wealth consciousness, if you refuse to be defined by temporary conditions, your external reality must eventually conform to your inner state. This is the promise and the process that transformed my life, and it will transform yours too if you allow it. Sip as if you're already wealthy. Think as if abundance is already yours. Feel the emotions of financial freedom now, and watch as your outer world reshapes itself to match the wealth you've already claimed within. This isn't theory. This isn't wishful thinking. This is transformation at the most fundamental level, and it begins the moment you decide it's true for you. Your wealth is waiting, not in some distant future, but right now, in the consciousness you choose to embody today. Step into it now, claim it as yours, and never look back.
Welcome, beautiful soul. If you found this video, it's no accident. You're here because you're ready to shift your energy, raise your vibration, and align with the abundance that's waiting for you. In the next few minutes, you'll hear over 100 powerful declarations designed to help you embody the feelings of prosperity, success, love, and limitless possibility. These aren't just words, they're energetic shifts that will help you become a magnet for everything you desire. You can use this video anytime you need an instant vibration boost. Play it first thing in the morning to set your day's intention. Listen before bed to program your subconscious mind, or use it whenever you want to realign with your highest self. As you listen, really feel each declaration in your body. Let the words sink into your heart and cells. You'll notice that each declaration also appears on screen as you hear it. This powerful combination of hearing and seeing engages multiple pathways to your subconscious mind, allowing the positive messages to integrate even more deeply into your being. Whether you choose to close your eyes and focus purely on the sound, or keep them open to read along with each declaration, you're creating a multi-sensory experience that bypasses your conscious resistance and speaks directly to the part of your mind that creates your reality. Take a comfortable position, breathe deeply, and let's begin this beautiful journey of transformation together. You don't have to believe these declarations completely right now. Just be open to the possibility that they could be true for you. Remember, you are worthy, you are powerful, and you are ready to receive all the good that life has to offer. Let's raise your vibration now. I am a powerful creator of my reality. Abundance flows to me effortlessly and naturally. I am worthy of all the good things life has to offer. Money comes to me easily and frequently. I attract opportunities that align with my highest good. I am grateful for the wealth that surrounds me now. My income increases consistently every month. I radiate confidence and attract success. I am open to receiving abundance in all forms. The universe conspires to help me succeed. I trust the process of life completely. I am aligned with the energy of prosperity. Every day brings new opportunities for growth. I deserve to live an abundant life. My positive energy attracts positive results. I am a magnet for financial abundance. I choose thoughts that serve my highest good. Wealth flows to me from multiple sources. I am grateful for my expanding prosperity. I release all limiting beliefs about money. I embrace my power to create positive change. Amazing opportunities come to me daily. I am worthy of love, success, and happiness. My bank account grows larger every day. I attract the right people at the right time. I am living my life purpose with passion. Money is a positive force in my life. I welcome unexpected financial blessings. I am confident in my ability to succeed. The universe supports my dreams and goals. I am open to new streams of income. My vibration attracts miraculous experiences. I celebrate my financial victories, big and small. I am becoming wealthier every single day. Love and abundance are my natural state. I trust my intuition to guide me perfectly. I am surrounded by endless possibilities. My positive mindset creates positive outcomes. I attract clients and customers effortlessly. I am grateful for money and money is grateful for me. I step into my power fearlessly. Prosperity is flowing to me right now. I deserve to be compensated well for my gifts. I am a successful and prosperous person. My dreams are manifesting into reality. I welcome change as an opportunity for growth. I am aligned with the frequency of abundance. Money loves me, and I love money. I attract abundance through joy and gratitude. I am worthy of financial freedom. My wealth creates positive impact in the world. I trust the timing of my life perfectly. I am open to receiving more than I can imagine. Success comes naturally and easily to me. I am grateful for this moment of transformation. I radiate love and attract love in return. My income exceeds my expenses with ease. I am a wise steward of my financial resources. I attract mentors and guides who support my success. I am living an extraordinary life. Money flows to me while I sleep. I am aligned with my soul's purpose. I welcome prosperity in all areas of my life. I am confident in my unique gifts and talents. The universe rewards my positive actions. I am grateful for my expanding abundance. I attract opportunities that excite and inspire me. I am worthy of premium prices for my services. My energy field magnetizes wealth and success. I choose to see abundance everywhere I look. I am financially free and living my dreams. I trust that everything is working out for me. I am a powerful co-creator with the universe. Money comes to me in fun and surprising ways. I am grateful for my growing prosperity consciousness. I attract high-paying opportunities effortlessly. I am worthy of receiving without struggle. My vibration attracts my perfect life. I am open to abundance beyond my current imagination. I celebrate every sign of increasing prosperity. I am becoming more successful every day. The universe provides for me abundantly. I am worthy of wealth and financial security. I attract people who support my highest good. I am living in alignment with my values. Money is drawn to my positive energy. I am grateful for unexpected financial gifts. I trust my ability to create wealth consistently. I am open to receiving abundance from all sources. My prosperity consciousness expands daily. I attract situations that benefit everyone involved. I am worthy of living without financial stress. I welcome opportunities to serve and prosper. I am grateful for the abundance that is coming. I radiate worthiness and attract respect. I am aligned with the energy of success. Money flows to me through channels of joy. I am worthy of having my desires fulfilled. I trust that I am always provided for. I am grateful for this moment of empowerment. I am open to receiving all the good the universe has for me. I attract wealth through authentic self-expression. I am worthy of abundance in all forms. My positive energy creates positive bank statements. I welcome financial miracles into my life. I am grateful for my expanding comfort zone. I attract investors and supporters naturally. I am worthy of premium experiences and relationships. Money serves my highest purpose and greatest good. I am living proof that dreams do come true. I attract abundance through love and service. I am worthy of wealth that grows generously. I welcome opportunities to multiply my income. I am grateful for the prosperity that flows through me. I radiate abundance and attract abundant people. I am worthy of financial peace and security. I trust the universe to deliver beyond my expectations. I am aligned with the frequency of infinite possibility. Money and I have a loving, respectful relationship. I am grateful for the abundant life I am creating. I attract success by being authentically myself. I am worthy of wealth that allows me to give generously. I welcome prosperity as my natural birthright. I am grateful for every blessing, seen and unseen. I radiate joy and attract joyful abundance. I am worthy of financial freedom and creative expression. I trust that my highest good is unfolding perfectly. I am open to receiving abundance in unexpected ways. I celebrate my journey of growth and prosperity. I am grateful for the powerful creator I am becoming. Take a deep breath and feel how your energy has shifted. Notice the lightness, the possibility, the hope that's flowing through you right now. This is your natural state. You are abundance, you are love, you are infinite possibility. Carry this energy with you throughout your day. Return to this video whenever you need a reminder of who you really are and what you're capable of creating. Remember, transformation happens one thought, one belief, one declaration at a time. You've just planted 130 seeds of abundance in your consciousness. Water them with gratitude, tend them with consistent action, and watch your reality transform. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who could use a vibration boost. Your support helps us reach more souls who are ready for positive transformation. Until next time, keep shining your light and attracting all the good that's meant for you. Picture this. There's a lottery winner sitting in their mansion right now, surrounded by luxury cars and designer furniture, feeling empty and terrified that it will all disappear. 3 blocks away, a janitor earning $30,000 a year is whistling while he works, mentally designing the business empire he's building $1 at a time, radiating an energy that attracts investors and opportunities wherever he goes. One of them has millions but no money frequency. The other has the money frequency but no millions yet. Guess which one will be financially free for life? If your answer surprised you, you're about to discover the most profound secret about money ever revealed. In this video, we're going to completely revolutionize your relationship with wealth. But first, let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly attract money while others struggle despite working twice as hard? Why lottery winners often end up broke again, but certain entrepreneurs can lose everything and rebuild their fortune in record time? The answer isn't what you think, and everything you've been taught about money is backwards. Today, we're exposing the greatest lie about wealth that's been passed down for generations. And I'm going to show you the one principle that has created every fortune in history, though few have understood how it actually works. If you've been trying to build wealth, chances are you've tried everything. You've read the business books, followed the investment strategies, worked longer hours, hustled harder, and perhaps even tried various manifestation techniques that promised wealth but delivered disappointment. You may be frustrated, wondering why others seem to effortlessly attract money while you struggle despite your best efforts. Here's the truth that will change everything. You've been approaching wealth creation completely backwards. From childhood, we're programmed with a fundamental lie about money. We're told that wealth comes from hard work, education, connections, luck, or being in the right place at the right time. While these external factors certainly play a role, they are not the source of wealth. They are merely the channels through which wealth flows. This is the great deception, believing that money exists out there in the world, separate from you, waiting to be earned, found, or attracted through external manipulation. Consider this. Why do some people with minimal education become millionaires, while others with advanced degrees struggle financially? Why do some individuals repeatedly create wealth even after losing everything, while others can't seem to break through their income ceiling despite years of effort? Why do lottery winners often end up broke again within a few years? The answer lies in understanding a principle that the wealthy have always known, either consciously or unconsciously. Wealth is an inside job. Traditional wealth-building advice focuses entirely on external strategies. Work harder and longer. Get more education or skills. Network with the right people. Invest in the right opportunities. Cut expenses and save more. Start a business or side hustle. While these actions can be valuable, they're treating the symptoms rather than the cause. They're attempting to change your financial reality from the outside in, which is like trying to change your reflection by manipulating the mirror. This approach keeps millions of people trapped in a cycle of financial struggle because it ignores the fundamental truth about how reality is actually created. Here's what changes everything. Your consciousness, your deep-seated beliefs, assumptions, and inner convictions about money is the actual source of your wealth. Consciousness doesn't just influence your financial results. It creates them. Every dollar you've ever earned, every opportunity that has come your way, every financial setback you've experienced, all of it originated in consciousness first, then materialized in your external world. This isn't metaphysical mumbo-jumbo or wishful thinking. This is how reality operates. And understanding this principle is what separates those who create lasting wealth from those who perpetually struggle with money. Think of consciousness as a broadcasting station. Whatever beliefs, assumptions, and inner convictions you hold about money are constantly being broadcast out into the world. The external world, including your bank account, then rearranges itself to match that broadcast. This is what we call your money frequency. If your deep down assumption is money is hard to come by, reality will consistently present you with experiences that confirm this belief. You'll find yourself working harder for less, missing opportunities, or encountering unexpected expenses that drain your resources. Conversely, if your fundamental assumption is money flows to me easily and abundantly, reality will orchestrate circumstances, opportunities, and encounters that make this true in your experience. This is why two people can take identical business courses or follow the same investment strategy and get completely different results. The external strategy is not the determining factor. The money frequency behind it is. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to succeed with any strategy they try, while others fail despite having better plans, more resources, or superior skills? This isn't coincidence. It's their money frequency at work. Traditional wealth-building strategies fail for most people because they're trying to override their money frequency through force and effort. It's like pressing the accelerator while the parking brake is still engaged. You might make some progress, but you'll never reach your full potential, and the journey will be unnecessarily difficult. When your actions are in conflict with your deep assumptions about money, one of two things happens. Number one, sabotage. You'll unconsciously sabotage your efforts through procrastination, poor decisions, or self-defeating behaviors. Number two, temporary success. You might achieve some success through sheer force of will, but it won't be sustainable. You'll eventually revert to your frequency level, often losing what you've gained. This explains why lottery winners often end up broke again. Inheritance recipients frequently squander their windfalls. Successful entrepreneurs sometimes lose everything and struggle to rebuild. And people hit invisible income ceilings they can't seem to break through. Their external circumstances change temporarily, but their money frequency remained the same. Eventually, external reality realigned with internal frequency. Your financial situation is like a mirror, perfectly reflecting your inner state regarding money. This is the money mirror principle, and it's one of the most powerful concepts you'll learn in this series. Just as a physical mirror shows you exactly what's in front of it. No more, no less. Your bank account and financial circumstances reflect exactly what's going on in your consciousness regarding wealth. Your current financial situation is providing you with precise feedback about your money frequency. If you're struggling financially, your frequency likely contains assumptions such as money is scarce and hard to come by. I have to work hard for every dollar. Rich people are greedy or lucky. I don't deserve to be wealthy. There's not enough money to go around. If you're comfortable but not wealthy, your frequency might hold assumptions like, I can get by, but wealth is for other people. Money is nice, but it's not everything. I should be grateful for what I have. Getting rich requires sacrificing what's important. If you experience financial feast and famine cycles, your frequency likely fluctuates between periods of feeling abundant and capable, periods of fear and lack consciousness, and conflicting beliefs about money and worthiness. This is not about positive thinking or affirmations. This is about tuning into the deep inner frequency of wealth at such a fundamental level that your external world has no choice but to reflect that frequency back to you. Now you're beginning to see why everything you've been taught about wealth creation is backwards. The conventional approach says, take external action, achieve external results, then feel wealthy. The frequency approach, the approach that actually works, says, tune into wealth frequency, feel wealthy now, and external results follow naturally. This reversal changes everything. Instead of trying to become wealthy, you start from tuning into the frequency where you already are wealthy, and you allow that frequency to express itself in your external world. This doesn't mean external action becomes irrelevant. It means external action becomes inspired, effortless, and effective, because it's backed by the frequency of wealth rather than the frequency of lack. When you tune into wealth frequency first, the right opportunities appear, the right people enter your life, the right ideas come to you, and the right actions become obvious. You're no longer swimming against the current of your own limiting beliefs. You're flowing with the natural abundance of the universe. As we move forward in this series, we'll build upon this foundation. Wealth is frequency expressing itself in form. Your external financial reality is a perfect mirror of your inner money frequency. Changing your money frequency changes your financial reality automatically. You don't need to earn wealth. You need to tune into it. Everything else we'll explore, specific techniques, daily practices, troubleshooting methods, all rest on this fundamental understanding. Without this foundation, manifestation techniques become desperate attempts to manipulate reality from a position of lack. With this foundation, they become natural expressions of your inherent abundance. You are about to embark on a journey that will completely revolutionize your relationship with money. You'll discover that wealth isn't something you need to chase, earn, or achieve. It's something you can simply tune into as your natural frequency. The great money deception ends here. Your money frequency journey begins now. If you're ready to discover exactly where your wealth exists right now and how to access the wealth frequency that's already available to you in this moment, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next episode where we dive deep into the quantum field of infinite abundance. In the comments below, I want you to declare your commitment to this journey. Simply write, "I'm ready to tune into my money frequency." When you declare this publicly, you're taking the first step to shifting your financial reality. Your declaration sends a signal to the universe that you're ready for transformation. Remember, you are not separate from wealth. Wealth is a frequency you can tune into right now. Your wealthy life begins with your next frequency adjustment. I'll see you in the next video. What I'm about to share with you is so simple, it feels wrong. It's so effortless that your mind will rebel against it. Because everything you've been taught about manifestation, all the hard work, the visualizing, the endless affirmations, has been keeping your dreams trapped in an endless loop of almost but not quite. The real breakthrough happens when you do the complete opposite, and it's ridiculously easy. Comment below, "I'm ready," if you're tired of chasing your dreams and ready to become the person who already has them. Because what I'm about to share will flip your entire understanding of reality upside down. Everyone teaches you manifestation forward. Visualize, attract, and achieve. Quantum manifestation flips that completely upside down. You don't manifest from desire. You manifest from outcome. Here's how to do it backwards, and watch miracles unfold. You've probably been told countless times. Clearly visualize your goals. See every detail. Feel the emotions as if you already have it. You've heard this advice from countless coaches, teachers, and books. Maybe you've spent hours each day imagining your dream life, picturing your dream job, your ideal partner, financial abundance, or vibrant health. You've likely closed your eyes, repeated affirmations, and tried your hardest to maintain positive feelings. And yet, something still feels off. It seems just out of reach, like you're constantly grasping at shadows. When you visualize something as a future goal, you reinforce the gap between yourself and what you desire. Think about that for a second. Every time you try harder to feel abundant or loved or successful, if deep down you still perceive it as something in the future, you're energetically broadcasting the exact opposite of what you want. You are inadvertently reinforcing your lack, and the quantum field, being a mirror of your dominant frequency, reflects back exactly that: more distance, more waiting, more frustration. This is where quantum manifestation turns the whole process upside down, and why it's infinitely more powerful. And if you think you know where this is going, think again. Quantum manifestation doesn't ask you to pretend something is already true in some vague future. Instead, it starts by placing you directly inside the outcome right here and now. It asks you to shift your state from wanting to already having, to think, feel, and act from the outcome rather than toward it. And here's the crucial distinction. It's not about imagining a future result. It's about experiencing the end state now. Quantum manifestation doesn't operate linearly. It operates backward from the end to the beginning. To make this clearer, let's use an analogy that will blow your mind. Imagine you're watching a movie, but instead of watching it from start to finish, you begin at the final scene. You see the resolution, the happiness, the clarity. With that knowledge of the outcome, every event leading up to it takes on a different meaning. You don't doubt how things will resolve. You don't question whether the hero will succeed. You already know the ending. Quantum manifestation works exactly the same way. When you start from the outcome, you experience a profound shift in your energetic frequency. Anxiety and urgency dissolve. Doubt fades. Why? Because there's no longer a question of whether something will happen. You're experiencing it as already done. And here's where it gets scientifically fascinating. Quantum physics backs this up. Experiments like the double-slit experiment And studies on retrocausality show us clearly that at the quantum level, past, present, and future are not separate. They coexist as possibilities, and your observation, your state of being, collapses them into reality. The moment you consciously choose to embody your future outcome, you collapse all other possibilities and anchor your desired timeline into your present experience. The quantum field responds to who you are being, not what you want to become. Think of it this way. Desire implies distance. Outcome implies presence. Desire says, I don't have it yet. Outcome says, it's already mine. Desire keeps you in a state of reaching and longing. Outcome puts you in a state of receiving and gratitude. From the quantum perspective, the universe never delivers what you desire, only what you embody. And the strongest way to embody something is to start living from it now, not waiting for external proof. So how do you practically apply this? The answer might surprise you. The key is to stop visualizing your outcome from the outside and instead embody it from the inside. Instead of imagining what it would feel like to get what you want, ask yourself, if this were already true, what thoughts would I think right now? What actions would feel natural and easy? How would my energy shift? Immediately, your internal state adjusts. Your nervous system relaxes. Your perception changes. Your emotional field stabilizes. And perhaps most importantly, your quantum broadcast transforms. You are no longer signaling lack. You're signaling coherence and completeness. You're not chasing, you're aligning. The irony here, and it's a beautiful irony, is that the moment you stop needing your desire to show up, it does. When you become indifferent to the timing, because you're so immersed in the feeling of already having it, manifestation accelerates exponentially. The quantum field doesn't require effort. It requires congruence. The secret lies not in wanting something badly enough, but in no longer needing it, because you're fully occupying the emotional, mental, and energetic space of already having it. This is why quantum manifestation is so powerful and yet so misunderstood. But wait until you hear what separates the effortless manifestors from everyone else. It's backward from everything we've been taught about achieving our dreams. But the moment you get it, the moment you embody it, you realize it's not complicated at all. It's elegant, it's precise, and it's profoundly transformative. Stay with me, because in just a moment, you'll discover exactly how to step into that reversed flow of manifestation, living from the outcome first. And once you do, you'll never want to manifest any other way again. You see, when you use traditional manifestation techniques, you're often instructed to affirm things like, I want abundance. I want success. I want the perfect relationship. Sounds innocent enough, right? But let's take a closer look at the hidden message this sends to the quantum field. Each time you say, I want, you unconsciously affirm a reality in which the thing you desire is missing. You're broadcasting lack. You're energetically confirming to the universe again and again, I don't have it yet. But here's the beautiful paradox that quantum manifestation reveals. The universe is not responding to what you want. It's responding to what you are. If your dominant emotional state is wanting, the quantum field has no choice but to mirror that exact state back to you. It matches your vibration with impeccable accuracy. So if you constantly signal wanting, the universe confirms this state by providing you more situations where you're left wanting, where fulfillment remains just out of reach. Now consider the opposite approach. And this is where everything changes. Imagine shifting your focus entirely from what you lack to what already exists in the quantum field. Because here's the profound truth. Science now fully supports every reality, every outcome, every dream you could possibly imagine is already encoded as a potential within the quantum field. You're not inventing or creating it from scratch. You're simply aligning with a reality that already exists as a possibility. Let's visualize this with a simple yet profound metaphor that will change how you see everything. Think of the quantum field as an enormous cosmic library. Every single possible version of your life already exists as a complete book on the shelves. You don't need to write the book from page 1. All you need to do is pick the book off the shelf, open it, and start reading, experiencing it fully, feeling it, believing it's real right now. This small yet vital shift in perspective is the difference between years of fruitless effort and instant energetic coherence. When you begin manifesting backward by assuming the outcome already exists, you step into a new energetic frequency. Instead of communicating "I lack," you broadcast "I have," and the quantum field, true to its nature, immediately reflects back that state of being. It's not magic. It's not wishful thinking. It's quantum physics at work. It's a scientifically validated reality. What you hold energetically, you receive experientially. Think about it this way. Manifestation isn't about convincing the universe or earning your desires through effort. It's about recognizing that reality itself is malleable, responsive, and waiting for you to choose your state consciously. The people who manifest effortlessly understand this. They don't chase their desires. They choose their outcomes. They embody the version of themselves that already has what they want. And by doing so, they collapse the quantum wave of possibility into a concrete, tangible reality. This is precisely why effortless manifestors always appear calm, relaxed, and confident. They don't push or force outcomes because they've internalized one simple truth. Forcing implies doubt. Doubt is resistance, and resistance delays manifestation. True quantum manifestors never try to make things happen. They simply align with the version of themselves where the outcome is inevitable and watch as the universe effortlessly rearranges itself around their coherence. Let this sink in deeply. Your manifestation ability doesn't hinge on your willpower, your hustle, or how clearly you visualize. It depends entirely on your internal alignment with the end state you desire. It relies solely on your ability to stop reinforcing lack and instead stabilize your energy in the vibration of completion. Because when you genuinely assume the outcome, when your emotional state fully matches your chosen reality, the universe has absolutely no choice but to mirror it back. This realization can change your life forever. It means you can finally stop chasing dreams from a place of anxiety, urgency, or desperation. It means you no longer have to struggle to prove your worthiness or push harder to force outcomes. Instead, you get to choose your outcomes, stabilize your alignment, and watch miracles flow effortlessly into your life. And as profound as this understanding is, it's just the beginning. Because next, we're going to dive even deeper into exactly how to shift your identity, your very state of being, so that manifestation becomes as effortless as breathing. You'll see why changing who you're being is infinitely more powerful than changing what you're doing. Ready for the next leap? Let's keep going. First, let's pause for a moment and go deeper into the science behind why backward manifestation isn't just a spiritual concept. It's a quantum reality backed by physics. This isn't merely theory or wishful thinking. It's rooted deeply in the fundamental mechanics of the universe itself. At the quantum level, all potential realities coexist simultaneously. Every version of your life, from the most ordinary to the most extraordinary, already exists as possibilities in the quantum field. You're not creating your future from nothing. You're simply selecting which reality you wish to experience. This subtle yet profound truth can forever change your approach to life. It means you don't have to struggle or strain to bring something into being. Your primary task is much simpler and infinitely more elegant. Align yourself with the reality you desire, and then allow it to unfold naturally. Here's the difference. Traditional, forward-thinking manifestation approaches encourage you to build from scratch, like constructing a building brick by brick. You visualize the goal, make plans, and push forward step by step. While there's nothing inherently wrong with effort, this linear method often reinforces the notion that your desires exist somewhere in the distant future, just out of reach. Energetically, this perpetuates a gap, reinforcing a sense of not yet having. Quantum manifestation reverses this completely. Instead of pushing reality into existence, you become the gravitational center that effortlessly pulls the desired reality toward you. You aren't chasing after an outcome. You're magnetizing a timeline that already exists. This subtle yet pivotal shift is the difference between years of frustrated effort and instant, easeful manifestation. Because in quantum physics, everything boils down to resonance. If your energy consistently broadcasts "not here yet," the field reflects delay. But if you vibrate with certainty, gratitude, and fulfillment, as if your desire is already here, the field has no choice but to match that frequency and collapse reality accordingly. This phenomenon is beautifully illustrated by the well-known quantum principle known as the observer effect. Experiments in quantum physics have shown repeatedly that subatomic particles exist as waves of possibility, probabilities, until they're observed or measured. Only at that moment do these waves collapse into specific, measurable particles. You, as the conscious observer, are performing this exact process continually in your daily life. Your dominant emotional state and focused attention are literally collapsing infinite possibilities into a singular, tangible experience. If you consistently observe from a place of absence or lack, you collapse realities that confirm that absence. However, if you observe from a state of fulfillment, gratitude, and certainty, the quantum field collapses possibilities that confirm your state of having. This is exactly why people who master quantum manifestation often seem effortlessly magnetic. They don't chase after anything. Rather, they anchor into the energetic truth that the reality they desire is already theirs. It's not magic. It's quantum mechanics at play. Every moment, your frequency is selecting potential outcomes from an infinite field. What changes your reality isn't endless effort, but coherence of thought and emotion, alignment, embodiment. Consider this carefully. Your life right now, every circumstance you currently experience, is an accurate reflection of your dominant internal state. The quantum field is impartial and precise. It doesn't judge your wishes as good or bad. It simply mirrors back your consistent emotional frequency. So if you want different external results, your task isn't to strive harder outwardly. It's to shift your inner energetic coherence to reflect your chosen reality as already done. It's a quantum shortcut, collapsing timelines instantly. Think of this process like tuning a radio dial. The station, your desired outcome, already exists. You don't need to create the broadcast. You simply adjust your frequency until your energy matches the signal you want. When you do, the music flows effortlessly. The reception becomes clear, and your life begins to reflect exactly the channel you've tuned into. It's not an act of creation. It's an act of alignment. This understanding fundamentally changes your relationship with manifestation. It frees you from the illusion that you must earn your desires through struggle. It liberates you from the myth that goals must be pursued with relentless urgency. Instead, it places you firmly in your true power, the power of conscious, coherent observation. When you realize your role isn't to force the universe to respond, but rather to clearly, consistently align with the reality you've chosen, the shift is instantaneous. This truth, however, is something most people resist at first because it defies conventional logic. Our entire society is built on the belief that effort equals reward. The quantum reality, however, insists otherwise. Effortless coherence equals resonance, and resonance equals manifestation. The quantum field doesn't respond to effort. It responds to vibration. Right now, you might be thinking, okay, this makes sense, but how do I actually do it? What does quantum manifestation look like in my everyday life? Excellent question. Let's walk through it step by step, making it so practical, so clear, and so simple that you can start seeing shifts immediately, without confusion, effort, or guesswork. The quantum manifestation process can be summarized in 3 clear and powerful steps. Let's unpack each one together, and by the end, you'll have everything you need to transform your reality. Step 1. Clearly choose your desired reality, but as if it already exists. This is the vital foundation, and most people stumble here by visualizing their desires as future scenarios. Instead, begin with absolute clarity on what you desire, not as a potential event, but as something already real, already achieved. Close your eyes and clearly define your desired outcome from the perspective of having already experienced it. If your goal is financial abundance, for example, don't visualize yourself becoming wealthy someday in the future. Imagine clearly the version of you who's already living in abundance right now. Picture the scenes vividly. Feel the satisfaction. Notice the confidence, the ease, the joy of living from abundance already realized. You're not manifesting from a what-if place. You're manifesting from it's already mine. This is the first crucial shift. Step 2. Completely identify with this reality. Here's where it gets profoundly transformative. Shift from wanting to embodying. Instead of saying, I want to be wealthy, internally affirm, I am already wealthy. Don't merely say the words. Feel them resonate deeply in your body. Notice how your posture changes, how your breathing shifts, how tension releases as you accept this reality completely. It's not about pretending or tricking yourself. It's about anchoring yourself in the emotional and energetic truth of that reality. Your body should feel it clearly. The neural pathways in your brain begin to reorganize around this new identity. Your nervous system relaxes into this frequency. You're no longer signaling uncertainty or lack. You're broadcasting the resonance of fulfillment, confidence, and gratitude. Exactly the signals the quantum field responds to most powerfully. Take a moment to do it right now. Choose one clear, specific reality. Feel it deeply. What emotions arise? Gratitude, relief, freedom, satisfaction? Identify these feelings clearly and allow yourself to dwell in them fully. Don't rush. This is where quantum reality is chosen. By embodying the emotional reality first, then watching as physical reality effortlessly aligns. Step 3. Release all control and allow the quantum field to respond. Now, here's the part many people find challenging, but it's also where the real magic happens. Completely let go of controlling how your desired outcome unfolds. Surrender your attachment to specific paths, methods, or timings. The quantum field works best when you leave the door open for infinite possibilities. The how isn't your job. It never was. Your job is solely to maintain coherence and alignment. The quantum field, infinitely intelligent and responsive, orchestrates all details effortlessly. Think of this like planting a seed. You don't dig up the seed every day to see how it's growing. You plant it, nurture the environment, and trust nature's intelligence to bring it into fruition. Your manifestation works exactly the same way. Trusting the field means embracing uncertainty with curiosity and openness instead of anxiety. When you release control, you stop energetically blocking outcomes with your limited expectations. Suddenly, you open the quantum space for synchronicities, unexpected solutions, surprising opportunities, and effortless miracles. Here's a practical daily exercise you can use immediately. Each morning before you get out of bed, clearly feel your chosen reality, not as future potential, but as present fact. Say internally, I'm already living my ideal reality. Feel it in your body. Imagine what your day would look like, what decisions you would naturally make, how interactions would unfold effortlessly if you were already that version of yourself. Do this for just a few minutes. Then release it entirely. Let go and trust completely. Throughout your day, whenever doubt arises, simply remind yourself gently, it's already done. You don't need to force the feeling again. Just briefly reconnect with certainty. Then move forward from a place of relaxed expectation, knowing it's unfolding perfectly. With practice, this state becomes your natural baseline. You become less reactive, more magnetic, and effortlessly aligned. Your reality begins reshaping itself around this state of coherence. Opportunities come to you. Relationships deepen effortlessly. Problems resolve spontaneously because you're no longer pushing from anxiety or desperation. Life mirrors back your relaxed trust. Does this sound revolutionary? It should, because it's radically different from everything you've been taught. Yet it's grounded entirely in quantum reality. Your life truly can become effortless when you understand that your role is simply coherence and surrender. Quantum manifestation is about getting out of your own way and letting infinite intelligence handle the details. So let's ground that shift together right now. Take a moment to comment below. I am ready to manifest backwards. Don't just write it as a formality. Feel it as a declaration. When you type those words and press send, you're sending a vibrational signal to the field that you are ready. You are no longer trapped in the loop of desire. You are stepping into the reality where you are already the version of yourself who receives. This simple act carries more power than you imagine because it comes from coherence, from embodiment, not from need or lack. You didn't land on this video by accident. You were guided here, not by coincidence, but by frequency, a signal from the quantum field that matched a part of you ready to remember. Because deep down, you know manifestation isn't about striving harder. It's about aligning deeper. True quantum manifestation begins when you stop chasing what you want and start embodying the version of you that already lives it. It's not a theory. It's a shift in state. And the moment you invert the manifestation flow, no longer desiring but becoming, the universe shifts its response. You're no longer requesting. You're collapsing timelines. The quantum field does not respond to pressure, effort, or urgency. It responds to coherence. And now you've seen how simple and powerful it is. The more you embody the version of yourself who already has, the faster the quantum responds. That's the real spiritual work. Not in doing more, but in being more aligned. Your dream future isn't something far away. It already exists in the field, and you just tuned into it. What if I told you that right now, as you're watching this, you're broadcasting a signal to the universe, not through your words, not through your actions, but through something far more powerful, your state of being. And here's what will shock you. Most people are broadcasting the exact opposite of what they want. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal a secret so simple that your mind will reject it at first. But once you understand it, once you truly get it, your entire reality will shift. But first, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to effortlessly attract what they want while others struggle and strain for years without results? Have you ever wondered why two people with the same knowledge, same circumstances, can have completely different outcomes? The answer will disturb you and liberate you at the same time. Picture this. You wake up tomorrow morning and discover that your bedroom wall has become a giant mirror. But this isn't an ordinary mirror. It reflects not your physical appearance, but your inner state. What would you see staring back at you? Would you see confidence or doubt, abundance or lack, peace or anxiety, love or loneliness? This isn't just imagination. This is exactly how your world works right now. Your external reality is nothing more than a perfect reflection of your inner state. I call this the fundamental law of consciousness. As within, so without. Every person in your life, every circumstance you encounter, every opportunity that comes or doesn't come, all of it is a mirror reflecting back your dominant state of consciousness. The wealthy person isn't wealthy because they have money. They have money because they embody the state of wealth. The loved person isn't loved because they're special. They're special because they live in the state of being loved. But here's where it gets interesting, and where most people get it completely wrong. They try to change the mirror instead of changing what's being reflected. Let me tell you about Maria, a single mother working 2 jobs just to pay rent. Every morning, she'd look in the mirror and see exhaustion. Every evening, she'd collapse into bed feeling defeated. Her inner state, pure survival mode. Maria lived in constant fear. Fear of not having enough money. Fear of losing her job. Fear of failing her daughter. And guess what her reality reflected back? More reasons to be afraid. Bill collectors calling, car breaking down, getting passed over for promotions. But then something extraordinary happened. Maria discovered what I'm teaching to you too, that imagination is not fantasy, it's the workshop of reality itself. The change didn't happen overnight. For weeks, Maria struggled with the concept. How can I imagine being wealthy when I can barely pay rent? She asked herself. But then she understood. She wasn't trying to deny her current circumstances. She was learning to live from the end result. Instead of imagining worst-case scenarios, which she'd been doing unconsciously for years, Maria began to live from the end. Every night before sleep, she wouldn't just wish for a better life. She would enter the state of already having it. She'd feel the satisfaction of financial freedom. She'd experienced the joy of watching her daughter graduate college without debt. She'd inhabit the feeling of being successful, not tomorrow, but now. She'd fall asleep in that state, impressing her subconscious mind with the reality of her fulfilled desires. The first week, nothing changed externally. The second week, a customer at her coffee shop mentioned a business opportunity. The third week, she met someone who became a mentor. 6 months later, she was managing 3 coffee shops. 18 months after that, she owned them. The secret, she stopped trying to change her circumstances and started changing her state. But there's something even deeper here that will transform how you see everything. And it has to do with why most people fail at manifestation. Here's the truth. Nobody wants to hear. Most people aren't manifesting what they want. They're manifesting what they fear. They spend their days worrying about what might go wrong, imagining worst-case scenarios, and then they wonder why their lives feel like a series of problems. The world is yourself pushed out. Every fear you entertain, every doubt you nurture, every worry you rehearse, it's all being broadcast to your subconscious mind, which then works tirelessly to make it real. Think about it. How much time do you spend each day imagining things going wrong versus imagining them going right? Be honest, most people spend 90% of their mental energy on what they don't want and 10% on what they do want. Then they're surprised when their life reflects that ratio. But here's what will change everything for you and what nobody tells you about manifestation. The harder you grip, the faster it slips away. It's like trying to hold water in your fist. The tighter you squeeze, the more it escapes through your fingers. I learned this lesson the hard way. Years ago, I was desperate for a specific outcome. I visualized constantly, affirmed endlessly, and fought against every doubt that arose. I was doing everything right according to the books I'd read, but nothing was happening. In fact, things were getting worse. Then I discovered the law of assumption. Assumption isn't forcing or demanding. It's a quiet knowing, a gentle certainty that what you desire is already yours. Think about breathing. You don't force air into your lungs, you simply allow it. You don't struggle to make your heart beat. It beats because that's its nature. This is the state you must cultivate with your desires. The more desperately you want something, the more you're affirming that you don't have it. The more you need it to happen, the more you're living in the state of lack. But when you assume it's already yours, when you rest in that knowing, you're living from the end, and that's where the magic happens. But here's where most people sabotage themselves, and once you know this, you'll never make the same mistake again. It has to do with the secret conversation you're having with yourself all day long. Right now, as you're listening this, there's a voice in your head. It's commenting on these words, agreeing or disagreeing, remembering related experiences. This inner dialogue never stops. It runs from the moment you wake up until you fall asleep. And here's what will shock you. This internal conversation is creating your reality more powerfully than any visualization technique or affirmation practice ever could. I call this the secret of the soul. What you say to yourself about yourself and your world is what you manifest, not what you say out loud, not what you write in your journal, but what you say in the privacy of your own mind. Most people's internal dialogue sounds like this. I hope this works out. I can't afford that. Things like this don't happen to people like me. I'll believe it when I see it. But the person who manifests effortlessly has a completely different internal conversation. Everything always works out for me. I have more than enough. Good things happen to me all the time. I see it because I believe it. Most people live from their current circumstances, always looking toward their desires as something out there to be attained. They say things like, when I get the money, then I'll feel abundant. Or when I find love, then I'll feel worthy. But I taught you to collapse time and space through imagination. Live from the end. Feel now what you would feel if your desire were already fulfilled. Let me share a story that illustrates this perfectly. Robert was a struggling actor who had been auditioning for years without success. He was living from his current circumstances, feeling rejected, unworthy, and unsuccessful. Every audition confirmed his fears. Then Robert learned about living from the end. Instead of going to auditions hoping to book a role, he started going to auditions from the state of being a successful actor. He felt the confidence, the worthiness, the knowing that he belonged on that stage. The change was immediate. Casting directors started noticing something different about him. Within 3 months, he booked his first major role. Within a year, he was working consistently. The external circumstances followed the internal state. Tonight, before you sleep, don't pray for what you want. Give thanks for what you already have in imagination. Feel the reality of your fulfilled desire. If you want love, feel loved. If you want success, feel successful. If you want peace, be peaceful. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a physical one. When you consistently live from the end, you're literally programming your reality. Modern neuroscience confirms this theory. Your brain has something called the reticular activating system, a network of neurons that acts as a filter, determining what information gets through to your conscious awareness. When you live from the end, when you assume your desire is already fulfilled, you program this system to notice opportunities, people, and circumstances that align with that assumption. Suddenly, the right people start showing up in your life. The perfect opportunities present themselves. It's not magic, it's neuroscience working in harmony with consciousness. There's a specific way to do this that most people miss, and it's the difference between occasional success and consistent manifestation. Your mind is like a garden. Every thought you think is a seed. Most people plant weeds all day long, worries, doubts, fears, and then wonder why their life looks like chaos. You are what you are by virtue of the state of consciousness from which you think, feel, and act. This means every moment is a choice point. Every thought is either moving you toward your desire or away from it. But here's what most people don't understand. Mental discipline isn't about suppressing negative thoughts. It's about becoming aware of them and consciously choosing different ones. Let me tell you about Jennifer, a woman who wanted to start her own business but was paralyzed by fear. Her mind was constantly filled with thoughts like, what if I fail? What if I lose money? What if people judge me? Instead of fighting these thoughts, Jennifer learned to observe them and redirect. When she caught herself thinking, what if I fail? She would gently redirect to, what if I succeed beyond my wildest dreams? When she noticed I don't have enough money, she would shift to, I have everything I need to begin. This wasn't positive thinking. This was conscious creation. She was deliberately choosing the thoughts that aligned with her desired outcome. This daily practice will change everything for you. Each morning, before your feet hit the floor, spend 10 minutes living in your ideal reality. Feel it, inhabit it, become it. This isn't daydreaming, this is reality construction. But here's the crucial part. Carry that feeling with you throughout the day. When doubt creeps in, and it will, don't fight it. Simply return to your scene. Return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Athletes have known this secret for decades. They visualize perfect performances, and their bodies respond as if they've actually practiced those movements. You can do the same with your desires. If you want to give a successful presentation, rehearse it mentally first. Feel the confidence, hear the applause, experience the satisfaction of a job well done. If you want to have a difficult conversation, rehearse it going perfectly. Feel the mutual understanding, the resolution, the love. Your subconscious mind will then orchestrate circumstances to match your mental rehearsal. This leads us to the most misunderstood aspect of manifestation, the role of time. What I'm about to share will completely change how you approach your desires. I spoke of the bridge of incidents, the seemingly random events that connect your current reality to your desired one. Your job isn't to figure out how your desire will manifest. Your job is to maintain the state and trust the process. This is where most people get stuck. They want to control the how, the when, the where. They want to micromanage the universe. But when you try to control the method, you often block the miracle. Let me share a powerful story about this. Amanda had been trying to manifest her dream job for months. She applied to specific companies, networked relentlessly, and visualized getting hired by particular organizations. Nothing was working. Then she learned about the bridge of incidents. Instead of focusing on specific companies, she began to live in the state of having her dream job. She felt the satisfaction, the fulfillment, the joy of doing work she loved. 2 weeks later, She got into an elevator with a stranger. They struck up a conversation. It turned out this person was launching a new company and was looking for someone with Amanda's exact skills. She had her dream job within a month. The bridge of incidents had connected her desire to her reality in a way she never could have planned or orchestrated. There are three types of bridges. People bridges. The right person appears at the right time with the right opportunity. Circumstance bridges. Events unfold in a way that creates the perfect opportunity for your desire to manifest. And inner bridges. You develop new skills, insights, or clarity that naturally leads to your desire. And there's one more element that most people completely overlook, and it might be the most important factor in your manifestation success. The self-help industry doesn't want you to know that you can visualize perfectly, affirm consistently, and take massive action. But if your emotions aren't aligned with your desire, you'll get mixed results at best. You need to understand this deeply, because feeling is the secret, not just any feeling, but the specific feeling that would be natural to you if your desire were already fulfilled. Most people try to manufacture positive emotions or suppress negative ones. But manifestation isn't about being positive all the time. It's about being emotionally congruent with your desire. If you want wealth, but feel guilty about money, you'll sabotage yourself. If you want love, but feel unworthy of it, you'll push it away. If you want success, but fear judgment, you'll stay small. Take a moment right now to think about your biggest desire. Now notice what emotions come up. Excitement, fear, doubt, unworthiness. These emotions are clues to what you really believe about your desire. The goal isn't to eliminate negative emotions, it's to transform them. Fear can become excitement. Doubt can become curiosity. Unworthiness can become gratitude for growth. This brings us to perhaps the most powerful technique I can teach you, and it's something you can start using tonight. The revision technique. This is something revolutionary. You can change your past, not the facts, but the meaning. And when you change the meaning of your past, you change your future. Every night before sleep, revise your day. Did someone treat you poorly? Revise it. Imagine them treating you with respect. Did you fail at something? Revise it. See yourself succeeding. Did you have a difficult conversation? Revise it to go smoothly. This isn't self-deception. This is reality editing. You're changing the story you tell yourself about who you are. And that story becomes your reality. But revision goes deeper than just editing your day. You can revise your entire past. Those childhood experiences that left you feeling unworthy, revise them. See yourself being celebrated and valued. Those failures that still haunt you, revise them into learning experiences that made you stronger. Every time you remember something, you're not just recalling it, you're actually recreating it in your brain. Each memory is reconstructed based on your current state of consciousness. This means your past isn't fixed. It's fluid, constantly being rewritten based on who you are now. When you consciously revise your memories, you're literally rewiring your brain. You're creating new neural pathways that support your desired reality. I used to carry a story about being rejected in high school that affected my confidence for years. Every time I faced potential rejection, that old story would surface and I'd sabotage myself. Then I learned about revision. I went back to that high school experience and rewrote it. I imagined being accepted, celebrated, valued. I felt what it would have felt like to belong. At first it felt strange, almost like lying to myself. But I persisted, and something remarkable happened. My confidence began to return. I started taking risks I'd avoided for years. New opportunities opened up. The external facts hadn't changed, but the meaning had. And that new meaning created a new reality. But there's one more secret that ties everything together, and it's hiding in plain sight in the most famous manifestation story ever told. It's been discovered that the Bible isn't a historical document, it's a psychological manual for manifestation. Every story, every character, every miracle is actually describing states of consciousness and how they create reality. Take the story of Jesus walking on water. Most people see this as a supernatural miracle, but it was revealed as a metaphor for rising above the sea of mass consciousness. When you live from the end, When you assume your desire is already fulfilled, you're walking on water, you're moving through life unaffected by external circumstances. Or consider the story of Moses parting the Red Sea. The Red Sea represents obstacles and limitations. When you truly believe in your desire, when you live from the end, the obstacles part before you, not through force, but through faith. Jesus said, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." Notice the tense, have received, not will receive. This is living from the end. This is praying from the place of already having what you desire. Most people pray from lack, begging for what they don't have. But the prayer of faith gives thanks for what is already fulfilled in imagination. And this understanding leads us to the most practical application of these principles, and it's something you can implement starting today. Tomorrow morning, I want you to try something different. Before you check your phone, before you think about your problems, before you remember your limitations, spend just 10 minutes living in your desired reality. Don't just visualize it, live it. Feel what you would feel. Think what you would think. Move how you would move. Speak how you would speak. If you desire wealth, feel wealthy. How does a wealthy person start their day? With gratitude, with confidence, with certainty about their value. If you desire love, feel loved. How does a beloved person wake up? With warmth, with security, with appreciation for life. This isn't pretending, this is becoming. You're not trying to convince yourself of something false. You're remembering something true, the truth of who you really are beneath all the limitations you've accepted. Each evening, before sleep, conduct a review of your day. But not just any review, a selective review. Focus only on the moments that align with your desired reality. If someone complimented you, replay it. If something went well, re-experience it. If you felt confident, magnify that feeling. What about the negative experiences? Don't suppress them, revise them. See them playing out differently. Feel different emotions about them. Transform them into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. There is no one to change but self. Every person in your world, every circumstance you encounter, every experience you have is a reflection of your state of consciousness. This isn't just spiritual philosophy, it's practical psychology. When you change your state, you change what you attract. When you change what you attract, you change your world. The person who treated you poorly, they're reflecting back your own sense of unworthiness. The opportunity that passed you by, it's showing you where you don't yet believe in your value. The love that eludes you, it's waiting for you to love yourself first. This might be hard to accept, but it's also incredibly liberating. It means you're not at the mercy of external circumstances. You're the operant power in your world. You get to choose. Here's the final practice. Tonight, before you go to sleep, I want you to do something that might feel uncomfortable at first. I want you to take full responsibility for everything in your life, the good, the bad, and the neutral. Not blame, but responsibility. Say to yourself, I am the author of my experience. Everything in my world is a reflection of my consciousness. If I want to change my world, I must change myself. Then, from that place of total responsibility, imagine your life exactly as you want it to be. Feel the fulfillment of your deepest desires. Know that as you fall asleep in that state, you're impressing your subconscious mind with a new pattern. The choice is yours. You now have the keys to the kingdom. You understand that imagination creates reality. That living from the end changes everything. That your state of consciousness is the true cause of your external world. The question isn't whether these principles work. They're working right now, whether you're conscious of them or not. The question is, will you use them deliberately to create the life you want, or will you continue to create by default? Every moment is a new beginning. Every thought is a new choice. Every feeling is a new direction. You don't have to wait for conditions to change. You don't have to wait for permission. You don't have to wait for worthiness. You can start now. You can start here. You can start with the very next thought you think and the very next feeling you feel. Remember, assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and observe the route that your attention follows. Your job isn't to figure out how it will happen. Your job is to assume it has already happened and then let life surprise you with the methods. The power isn't in the technique, it's in you. It always has been. These principles simply help you remember what you already know. You are the creator of your experience. If you apply these principles consistently, if you make living from the end your natural state, if you revise your past and script your future through imagination, your life will change, not gradually, but dramatically. Not someday, but soon. Your desires aren't wishes, they're prophecies. They're showing you who you're becoming. Trust them, trust yourself, trust the process. Thank you for being here today. If this resonates with you, if you feel the truth of these words stirring something within you, then you're ready for the next step. Comment below with one thing you're going to start living from the end of. Share this message with someone who needs to hear it. The world needs more conscious creators, more people who understand that reality is malleable and that consciousness is the only true power. And remember, you're not learning to manifest. You're remembering that you already are manifesting. The question is, what are you choosing to create? The power is within you. It always has been. Now it's time to use it consciously, deliberately, and with the full knowledge that you are the god of your own world. Your new life begins the moment you assume it already exists. What are you waiting for?